should see a little. All right, excellent. Looks like we are live.
Nice.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, internet marketers, poodles, dogs, furry animals of the internet, Brian G. Johnson here with Marketing Easy Street, and it's my absolute pleasure to have along with me today my special guest, Michael Thomas. Michael, so great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So today, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about internet marketing success, and I specifically asked Mike to come along today to share some of the strategies, some of the tactics, some of the technologies that he's personally used to go from zero to YouTube rocking marketing hero in a pretty short amount of time. He's built a tremendous email list that's incredibly responsive. He's selling affiliate products. He's getting traction. He's moving forward. And when I see someone that I know is going to be successful, I want to jump on. I want to get them with me. I want to really, ask them how are they finding this success. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mike from Maine, Michael R. Thomas. Again, Mike, say hello to everyone out there on the interwebs.
Hello there, everybody. It's a pleasure being here today. I'm really happy to be on. I hope I can share a lot with you all about how I've been able to achieve my success, and hopefully you'll be able to learn something that you can use in your own business. But yeah, Brian, I don't know where you want me to begin, if you want me to tell my story, or where do you want me to go?
Well, I tell you what, here's what I have, buddy. I have about 8 or 9 questions. I'll walk you through those questions. You're more than welcome to interrupt me because I am too long-winded and I'm kind of a media hog, which might be a good thing, but maybe not. So feel free to interrupt. First off, let's just ask the question that always, begins. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Michael.
Yeah, I love that question, and I do. For those of you out there that have heard of me and maybe followed my show, I've done about 300 interviews so far, and I always wonder, okay, I'm like, how do we start the interview out? Do we go deep into that person's story? And I've done it where I haven't done it, and I've kind of neglecting it, thinking that my audience would know who that person was, but there's always going to be people out there that haven't heard of the guest before. So long story short, I've been online since about 2004. I've had my hands in things from AdSense to CPA marketing. I had about 750 AdSense websites at one point. I've made income of up to $100,000 a year, and I've had years where I've made maybe even close to zero in a year. It's just always been ups and downs, ups and downs. But in this last couple of years now, following my success with building 750 AdSense websites and flipping them, I started moving into doing interviews and making a living by interviewing people that are putting out products, doing interviews where I'm able to get great content out of them, and also being able to monetize those interviews through affiliate commissions. So that's pretty much, what I do now. When my friends and family ask me what I do, I say I am a host of a show where we do kind of a half commercial, half content about the product, and we try to provide value and a service at the same time. Usually that goes over their head, and I'm an affiliate marketer with a show.
Well, you certainly are, Michael, and we're going to talk a lot about this as we move forward with today's show, and I want to welcome the viewers that are here with us right now live. It's great to have you. If you've got any questions, what I'm going to ask you to do is simply leave the questions in the chat box on YouTube, and I'll make sure I answer and get back to you after the show. We've got a lot of crazy technology, but I promise this is going to really have a lot of great information for you. So, Michael, you told us a little bit about the show, And that's great. Like I said, we're going to come back to that. And for those that are watching, you can access Mike's marketing blog at MikeFromMaineBlog.com. Is that right?
MikeFromMaine.com.
MikeFromMaine.com. Okay, again, MikeFromMaine.com. And that's what we'll be talking about today, how Mike came up with the concept, the idea, how he's leveraging YouTube. And one of the things I really want to point out right now is that Mike made a conscious decision to move forward with this plan and to leverage the success of other internet marketers. Now, that this is not a new concept, but he really took it to the next level when he started getting live on the air with people. So, Mike, again, another question for you. Tell us a little bit more about the backstory. When did you get started with internet marketing? What was the very first initial small success that you had that just filled you with that energy and passion? Let's talk about that a little bit.
To go back to when I first got started with internet marketing, it was 2004. I had graduated from college in 2003. I moved to Prague, and I was teaching English in Prague for a year. I graduated with a degree in English and Spanish, so I had no background in business. I really despised anything to do with business. I thought it was boring. It just didn't seem very sexy to me. Very quickly, I realized that after working as a teacher, that the money wasn't that good, that I wanted a little bit more out of life. And if I wanted to be able to have those things and to have that lifestyle, that I would need to be making some more money. I moved back to the States in 2004 and found out that my brother, who's about 4 years older than me, he had been making up to $300,000 a year simply as an affiliate for a magazine distributor. So he was doing, I think it was mostly advertising on Yahoo Overture, I think it was called at the time, Yahoo Ads. And he was just killing it as an affiliate, and that made me think, wow, it's really possible. All these stories, I think a lot of you, people that have been around a while, will remember things like The Rich Jerk and all these different hypey things about people pushing buttons and making money. Okay, maybe that's not true, but there are people, and there were people making money online, and the fact that I was able to see my brother was doing it, that made it really a reality for me. So I started my own blog. My first website was freetrialofferguide.com, a horrendously long domain name, but the idea behind it was, at the time, there was all these things where you could go and you could do like a bunch of trial offers and win a free iPad, or not an iPad, an iPod at the time it was. So you would win a free iPod by getting, you would fill out an offer, like a CPA offer, and then you get your like 5 friends to do it, and you would get a free iPod. So there were a bunch of those out there. I learned that you could start doing that and make affiliate commissions from it. So I made that site. I was making maybe, I don't know, $2 or $3 a day from it in the beginning. And then from there on, I got more into CPA advertising. I started paying for traffic and really working my way up so that I was making a living doing that. So yeah, that's kind of where I got my first taste.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you know, one of the things that I thought about when you mentioned this, Mike, was the fact that you dreamt, you dreamed, you saw that it was possible. You saw other people doing it. You said, why not me? I'm going to go get started, and that's what you did. And in the beginning, you were making a few dollars a day. Tell me when all of a sudden you really knew that you were onto something and things started to ramp up for you.
I think when it really started to when I really started to think, okay, maybe this could be my job. Maybe I don't need to be in the traditional 9 to 5. I was working as a marketing assistant, which I don't know how I got a job in marketing. I never had a degree in marketing, but I got a job as a marketing assistant at Georgetown University, and I was making about $40,000 per year. And while I was doing that, I was slowly making money with my CPA advertising, slowly making money with just these little tactics, these little things that I was doing online. And that money that I was making in my spare time started to be more than the money that I was making at work. So it was kind of like the time that I was doing both my real job and my internet marketing job, which I would say that's more the real job now. But at the time, that wasn't my real job. The time that I was doing that, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm making two incomes now, which was fantastic. But is my opportunity cost here? Is the time that I'm spending at my job actually taking away from money that I could be making if I was putting more of myself into my entrepreneurial business? And it was at that point that my contract ended up finishing at the university. They ended up asking me to come back, and they said, Mike, we don't want to lose you. We want to put you in another position here. You've done a great job. And I was like, listen, I know this is a fantastic opportunity that thousands of other people would love to have. Why don't you give it to them? Because I am not excited about it. I want to do my own thing, and I'm having more success, and I'm happier doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny because I had the same exact experience, and it started out with a dream, right? I saw that it was possible. I'm very much the glass is half full kind of guy, and I went for it. And I remember early on, Mike, when I started, some of my coworkers, they laughed at me when I told them I made $2 last night and I sold a poster. And one gentleman told me, you will absolutely never quit your job. It will never amount to anything. And the amount of times that people have told me, no, you can't, no, it won't, you're stupid, is a lot. And it still happens to this day. I go for it, you know. And within a few months, I was able to quit. I had matched my income as a professional chef, and in fact, when I quit, I was making a bit more. And within 2 years after that, it was substantial. So, you know, congratulations on that. Tell me about when it got ugly, because, you know, anybody that's been in this industry for any length of time has had ups and downs. And unfortunately, I see so many people that they get started and they have, number one, unreal expectations, and the first sign of a roadblock, they quit. And it really, honestly, it saddens me, because I know anybody can have anything they want if they push through and they understand that there are going to be problems, there are going to be roadblocks. So when did you get, you know, bitch slapped, pardon my French, for the first time? How did you react, and how did you come out of that?
Oh, bitch slapped. I've been slapped. If you've been doing internet marketing for any amount of time and you've had any amount of success, I almost look to expect it now. I started having success, and I'm like, okay, I need to brace myself. Like, something's going to happen. I need to be prepared for it. I need to be prepared for changes, because they always happen. My first big slap was, I was doing, back in 2007, I was doing some arbitrage traffic, where what I was doing is I was buying traffic from one place, sending it to another place, and the amount of traffic that I was sending was costing me less money to send the traffic, and I was making money from the traffic. Anyways, what happened was I'd spent, and I've been doing this for a while now, and I'd spent that 1 month, I'd spent $10,000 on traffic, and I expected that traffic at the end of the month, from the income that I brought in, it brought in a profit of $20,000. So I was expecting to get a check for $30,000 at the end of the month. Woke up one morning, got an email in my inbox, and it was from the company, and they said, you've been doing arbitrage, we don't allow that, you forfeit your commissions, blah, blah, blah. So apparently I had been dabbling a little bit in the dark arts, and they didn't like it, and instead of making $20,000, I lost $10,000 from my advertising. So that was that I remember that morning when I woke up. That was a hard feeling in my stomach, and it wasn't just that loss. From then on, I had lost that income source. Luckily, I had other income sources as well, So it wasn't the end of everything, but it was losing that kind of money. I think that's the most money I've ever lost in one day. Is I guess would be $20,000 in profit from one day. Another time that I got slapped, and there's a lot of little things that happen along the way, like advertising companies will change their rules. I'll get my bids, like I'll be advertising somewhere, my bids will go up. But another big one was on September 26, 2012, Google came up with what's called the exact match domain update. At the time, I had 750 websites that were very thin content websites. They weren't the best content in the world, but they were just websites targeting specific keyword phrases that were doing well up until that day, making about total it was about over $3,000 a month, but in the process I was also flipping the sites, so I'm not sure exactly. I was selling them for 20 times their income. But anyways, I woke up, looked at my rankings, and because of the Google update, all my sites were not ranking anymore. So that was a huge hit for me as well.
Yeah, man, no kidding. I did the same thing, buddy. I had those exact match domains. It was a great strategy. It was a good run. And you mentioned 2012, and that was the time when I said to myself, and I think we have a similar story here, where it's got to be about adding value at the highest level. It's got to be one website that I build up over the long term. And at that point, I launched Marketing Easy Street. I deleted hundreds and hundreds of domains. I think I had owned 900 of them at the time. And some people might say, how can I be sure? Well, you can't. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. It's really about seizing an opportunity, understanding that there will be risk involved, but weighing out the risk versus reward and going for it and moving forward. And if there's one bit of advice I could offer is, look at people that are doing really well today. Make out a plan for yourself first. Let's start off with that. Make a plan, come up with some ideas, strategies, and tactics. Then find people that are where you want to be and copy. I've done it for 8 or 10 years. I just find other people that are where I want to be, and I always try to keep things simple. I don't reinvent the wheel, and I learn from those people until I'm at a point where I no longer really need to learn, and that has served me so well. How did you come out of that, buddy? What did you do?
Yeah, and I was going to interject there and just say that it's really interesting that you say that, because one of my big successes was building all those websites and my AdSense income and the flipping of the websites, and I was that September is when everything went down. But I didn't mention that in the previous July I had done $12,000 in profit. So and I was on the way to continuing. If that hadn't happened, I would probably have done higher than that in September, and it would have kept on going. So the important thing here, though, is that I didn't invent that system. That wasn't something that I was like, oh, I think I'll make all these websites, and I didn't go out there and create this. What I had done is I had emulated other people out there that I saw that they were doing well. There were some guys at the time. It was called AdSenseFlippers.com. Now it's called Empire Flippers, and they were doing this and they were having success with it. So I got in touch with them, made friends with them, learned what they were doing, and emulated them, copied them, may put my own spin on it. But still, I did a very, very similar thing to what they were doing, and we actually ended up connecting with each other and helping each other. And I think that's also a really important point to put in here, is that with all this stuff that we're doing online, and it's some people out there will make it so that it's me against everyone else. And I think it's really important that you need to connect with other people that are doing similar things as you are, because you can bounce ideas off of them, you can help each other, support each other, even if you're doing similar things. I've seen guys out there that have launched a product about a video marketing tool, and then on a Friday, and then helped email and support another person's video marketing tool on a Monday. And I mean, people are helping each other all the time with that. You just need to be connecting and using each other as friendships and as business partners.
Yeah, man, that's really powerful. You know, one of the things to think about is that internet marketing is vast. There's thousands and thousands of people at a very high level, very, very successful. There are hundreds and hundreds of ways to find the success that you're after. And those people that are at a very high level, right, they quit their job, they have the freedom they want, they're making the money they want, those people, almost 99% of the time, they envision what their future is going to be. They create a plan of action for themselves, and then they focus and interact with a small group of people that are also doing the same thing. So, you know, Mike, when I saw you doing this, what did I say? I said, well, Mike, let's get together, because, you know, what I'm all about this year is going forward and leveraging traffic sources to bring it back to my Marketing Easy Street. I'm working on branding, YouTube, Facebook, and I don't do that until, you know, we talked about this earlier. I don't do like 6 things at the same time. I focus on one thing, and when it's working, I move on to the next. So, you know, really powerful, and I think if I can just like hammer home this message, folks, what you want to do is you absolutely have to be in control of your destiny. Make a plan up for yourself, figure out how you're going to find that success, and then seek out people that you trust and that you know can teach you and lead you through example, not by talk. And when you do that, all of a sudden things become much clearer. There's much more clarity because you're in control. You're not reacting to every email that hits your inbox. Rather, you're planning your destiny. You're moving forward, and you're getting with the people that are making it happen. And when you hang around winners, boom, you win. It's just.
I think it's important also to say though that when you, I think for a lot of people, okay, you'll say to them, you need to be reaching out and you need to be hanging out with the top people, the best people, the people that you are trying to be like in your niche, whether it's internet marketing or whether it's knitting. Like, but you still at the same time, like if you just send an email out to someone and it's just all about what you can get from them, then you're not going to get very far with that. Sure, you might get some responses from some people, but if you're just trying to take, you're not going to get far in life. If you're going to go out there and you have something that you can give, something. With me in my show at the beginning, I didn't always have an email list. I wasn't always able to, when people were on my show to talk about their products, I wasn't always able to say, okay, you're probably going to get some sales. I was like, I don't know, man. You might get a sale or two. I have no idea. And a lot of people were fine with that because here's the thing. I was providing a service. I was having them on and interviewing them and doing something that not everyone was doing. Even if a ton of people didn't watch it, still they had that resource out there, that asset. In the future, they could, if they wanted to link up to it or show people or whatever, they could say, look, I've been interviewed. I have enough to show that I'm worth being interviewed for. So that was what I was able to give to people. But even if you don't do interviews, maybe you are a great graphic designer and you can create a great banner for someone or a great logo or something, and that's the way that you're able to connect with them. Maybe you have a great voice and you can do great voiceovers for their podcast or something. Anything out there, anything that you have a talent for, that's a great way that you can start that relationship with someone. But just make sure you don't just make it about me, or I don't think you'll be able to get very far.
That's a really good point. You know, so it does make sense to identify those you want to hang with, and how do you penetrate the circle? I think that's what we're talking about. How do you do it in an effective way that gets results? And really, what you're talking about, Mike, is just, you know, give first. I try to be pretty gracious. I'll email my list. I'll support people. I'll promote their product before asking for reciprocation. I'll always ask for reciprocation. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I truly want to help other people succeed and so on. Let me give the viewers a few tips. Like, well, how do I do it, Brian, if I am at absolutely rock zero? I'll tell you, I get a tremendous amount of people contacting me on a daily basis. Emails, Facebook messages. Everybody wants my guidance and help. And I truly am here. My calling in life is to be motivational, inspirational, provide true blueprints and strategies that people can use to get ahead in life. But I can't help the whole world. It's just physically impossible. And I want to help at a high level. I really want to know when my time is being used that it's going to have an impact with people. That's one of the reasons a lot of my products and courses that I offer are at a higher price point. $500. That's a lot of money. But you get what you pay for. And when you pay somebody, it's not just a buddy thing. It's not friends. It's a business transaction, and I go to bat for those people. People think, oh, you're just a scammer. You won't help me. I want to help everyone, but if I've got 500 paying members that are a part of a program that I put my heart and sweat and my blood into, those are the people I'm obligated to help first. It's just how the world works. I do this myself. I have coaches. I pay thousands of dollars for an afternoon. Okay? So, I talk about right now using a coach, using a mentor, buying into a product so you can get noticed. And then what you can do with that is you can give back. I remember one monthly membership I joined. I didn't join per se for the content in the program. I joined because I saw greatness in the product creator. And I said, I will get with that guy. And 2 years later, we launched a product together, and that product was responsible for $500,000 in revenue generated. Wow. And it took 2 years, and it was painful in the process, but that's how I broke into that circle. So there's nothing wrong with being strategic with the products you buy, the people you spend your money with, and so on. So let's do this, Michael. I want to talk a little bit now about the specifics of what you're doing, how you're doing it. I want to talk about technologies. I want you to really try to give my viewers exact tactics that they can turn on in the next few minutes after watching this. How to upload a video to YouTube. What kind of tags to use. Do they need to use a transcription? So maybe YouTube, maybe plugins for WordPress, the technologies. Talk about your show from the early stages. If you want to try screen sharing, great. If you rather just stay like this because we're kind of new to Hangouts, that's fine too. What do you got for us? How can my viewers use the tactics and strategies you've been using to get results?
Okay. There's tons of stuff there. But as far as, do you want me to explain how I kind of the whole interview, how I?
Well, let's do this just for the fun of it. We're without a net. It's a little scary, but do the screen sharing thing. Let's see how that's going to work.
Okay, let's see.
So put on the left of the screen, you'll see a green arrow, a button with a white arrow and a green background. Do you see that on the left?
Sure. 1 second. I'm just gonna get my screen open.
So guys, what we're going to do is Mike kind of gets ready, and hopefully we'll make this work. If not, we'll just talk you through it. I'm going to have kind of Mike give you a play-by-play of his blog, how he's able to generate traffic, how he's able to build an email list. Do you see that button, buddy?
Yep. I'm just gonna open that up. Okay. So the button's right over here with what color is the button? Screen share. There we go.
Yep. Screen share. So you click that.
Screen share, and then I'm gonna share my.
Perfect. Okay, great. We've got a screen coming up now. So right now, oh, that's perfect. So guys, this is Mike's site. It's called Mike from Maine. When did you launch this site, Mike?
You can see everything right now. You can see my screen.
It's beautiful, dude.
Cool. Okay. I launched. It's a funny story behind this actually. I launched Mike from Maine, and it's funny the whole branding aspect of it. I launched it way back in 2008, and when I initially put it up, it was a way for I had never launched a WordPress blog before. It was a way for me to be able to tell my mother where I was as I was backpacking around the world. I'd set it up just as a way to show I had what's in my backpack, and I put a picture up of me before I left to travel through Southeast Asia. And as I was traveling, I was putting up the different places I was going, putting up different pictures. So it was a travel blog. Then in 2000 and I think it was 2011, I got hacked, and I lost everything, all the posts. Some of the pictures I still had because I had them hosted somewhere else, but all the stuff I had written about coming to Turkey for the first time. I live in Turkey, for those of you listening. I've been here for about 5 years now, and I lost all of that, and I started over again. And what I was using it for then was when I started to build AdSense websites again, I started using it as a way to be conscious of the money that I was spending on my websites. So I would say, okay, this month, if we go, I'm going to open up here. I've got my income reports. Let's see, okay, and you'll see here I do an income report for every single month that I've been online. I've done an income report showing exactly how much money I make, exactly how much money I spend. If we go back here to October 2011, you can see that I made $569 from AdSense. I made $50 from a TextLink ad, and I made $619 in income. But then, of course, there were expenses as well. So my total expenses from all my link building and hosting and all that, the total profit ended up being $355. But you'll see here there's not much more than that. I didn't really write anything in there. I didn't really feel that, like, no one was paying attention to it, right? Yeah. So I didn't feel like I needed to write that. But as time went on, I started writing a little more. I think I mentioned to you how in July of 2012, if we open up that one, you can again see that there's a lot more. Here's more expenses here, all these different expenses. And I think it's important that people that are, and many people forget this, like a lot of people don't talk about the money that it takes to run a business, even if it's just online. Like, it's much less than running an offline business, but still there's going to be expenses. Here you can see with Odesk for the writing for my websites, I spent almost $800 there. So I spent that month $2,261 on my business, but I made in total revenue $15,000. So the profit ended up being $13,000 from that month, and of course at that time I was writing more then. So that's kind of my website went from a travel blog into a way of me being able to be to track my spending and my profits. Then it turned into interviews, and if you go to this episodes section here, you'll see that if it opens up.
And this is kind of what we really want to get into, because what I want to highlight today is, number one, how you're leveraging Skype interviews. Number two, how you're leveraging YouTube. Number three, how you're leveraging the success of other marketers. And first off, tell people how many subscribers a day you get to your blog. I want to bullet point this so it really stands out.
For subscribers to my site a day, usually between 40 to 60 a day.
Did you guys hear that? I'm sorry to interrupt, Mike, but I really want to stop right now. Every day, Mike is getting 40 to 60 opt-ins to his list. That is ridiculous. Mike has a platform that works whether he's on vacation or not. He has created a huge, powerful YouTube channel, and he's leveraged, again, the expertise of other marketers, and he's taken this pretty serious. He makes a lot of videos, but the results he's getting is powerful. And tell me about some of the affiliate promotions, you know, the good and bad. Like, if you have a good affiliate promotion right now, what can that mean to your bottom line if you don't? I mean, you already disclose your earnings, so
Yeah, you can ask me anything about that kind of stuff. I don't hold anything back. You can money. That's one thing that I think that is really important that we talk about. Actually, is the money that I'm able to earn from this, and that it doesn't need to be a secret. I know that it's rude in society to ask people how much money they make in general, and in a lot of societies around the world. But
okay, Mike. So just tell me, buddy. Just tell me.
no, I just want to. Yeah, but I just wanted to say though that it's rude. But I think that when it comes to this kind of a niche, when people are talking about and making claims about how much money they're making, I think that it makes it so that if you're claiming these things, that you need to be able to reveal it. With this promotion right here for Covert Context, I did first what I did as far as how the whole promotion went. Just to kind of give you an idea before I reveal the income for it. First thing I did was I did an interview with Cindy. We look very excited here. It's a nice face. We did an interview over Skype where I recorded it using Ecamm Call Recorder over Skype on a MacBook. If you're on a MacBook, you can use Ecamm Call Recorder. If you're on a PC, I'd recommend using Hangouts. But we did this interview. I published this the night before her launch went live. I told the people that were watching it that to stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a review the next day, to come back, and that it's going to be live and you can get it at the cheaper price. Then the morning of the launch, wrong one. I ended up doing a review of the product where I went in and I looked at the back end of the product, what people are actually going to be getting, said what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. I've made so far from this, I think, around, I'd say $150 so far. I think it's probably going to end up being, when it's done, I'll probably have made $200 from this promotion.
Right, and that's one promotion, and you do a good amount of promotions per month, correct?
I do pretty much one a day.
One a day, guys. So some of the things to think about too is that as Mike is doing this, he's adding videos to YouTube. He's targeting keywords that internet marketers are looking for. That is pushing people back to his blog. That is building his email list that I talked about earlier. And it's also giving him a vehicle to contact his readers who love what he does because he's going above and beyond and providing a true review and a bonus of a product. Now, I haven't done a whole lot of this lately. I've got a lot of other things going on. But when I used to do this, I've earned as much as $25,000 copying this method. The other thing I want to kind of just say is that some of you might be thinking, I'm not in the internet marketing niche, this sucks. Here's the thing, there's still so much opportunity. You just have to look at some of the technologies and how can you apply this in your own way. First thing I would think about is if you're not on Google+, I've been talking about Google+, and you need to be there. And here's why. You can find people that are interested in other niches that you're interested in. Gardening would be a tremendous example. You could host interviews with other gardeners, talk about roses, houseplants. You could maybe do the same thing with weight loss. It would be incredibly powerful. Could you imagine real-life interviews with real people that are losing weight? And we're going to talk about it this coming Friday. These are all the kind of strategies and tactics that you can use to mimic this success. One of the things you always want to think about when you're trying to find success is think of ways that you can say yes. So if you're watching Mike and you're saying this is all well and good, but it won't work for me because of this, that, and the other thing, I would invite you to try to start changing your thinking to say, how can I use this? Kindle is a great example. A lot of people don't want to write, so they can't do Kindle. Well, yes, you can. You're just not willing to write. How can you say yes? So Mike, pretty awesome. So one of the things you just dropped is, what was the name of the software that you're using again to record via Skype?
I'm using Ecamm Call Recorder, but
Ecamm Call Recorder, awesome.
But it's only it only works on a MacBook. So if you don't have a MacBook, you're going to have to use something else. I've heard of people using something called Pamela on Skype, but now with Google Hangouts,
Yeah.
I'm not a master of Google Hangouts. I was talking with you about this beforehand. It's something I haven't used very much just because I'm so comfortable using the system that I'm using now. But for anyone out there that's just starting out, Google Hangouts is an amazing way and so easy to do. You just really start recording and it gets automatically saved for you and uploaded to YouTube. It's a perfect way to do that.
Very powerful. In fact, I would share with the viewers that if you're just getting started, I would look towards the Hangouts first, because there's so much power in the way stuff happens. The way people comment is a comment on YouTube. The interaction, the length, the value you're able to add using a Hangout is powerful. So these are things that you can do no matter your niche. Now, if your niche is underwater basket weaving, you're in a bad niche. Don't try to spend all your time identifying this niche that nobody knows about. And I've done a week's worth of research, and you're in this super secret niche because those really don't exist in the ability to drive earnings to allow you to make money. So that's pretty cool, dude. Let's talk just a little bit more about your website. What are some tips you can give people as far as using video, using YouTube? Let's talk maybe about Video Player. It's called Video Player, right?
Oh, you're talking about Lead Player.
Lead Player, yeah.
Okay, I'll share my screen again and show you how this works.
Cool. This is another pretty powerful piece of software, guys, that you can use to basically increase your list.
What Lead Player does is can you see my screen right now?
I can, buddy.
Okay, right now this YouTube video, this video right here is on YouTube and also embedded on my site, but I use a special plugin called Lead Player. It's made by the same people you might have heard of, Lead Pages, which is also an awesome service for creating opt-in pages. But watch what happens when someone clicks here. I have it set up, and you can set it up any way that you want. I have it set up so that when someone goes to watch my video, first an opt-in page comes up here. Now, people can either put in their email in, or there's an option here to also skip this so I don't force them to do it. Now, you can have that happen at the beginning, at the end, in the middle, at a certain place where you say, okay, well, if you're interested, please opt in. And then this pops up when you say that. It's all up to you. You can also have it so that if you want to make it so that people have to opt in to watch your content, you can do that as well. Also, let's take a look at what happens after this is skipped. You'll see here that a link pops up here. Now, you can also do that anytime you want. You can have that at the end, in the middle, at the beginning, and this is going to be a link where obviously I have my affiliate link here. So when people are watching, they're going to see that. It's going to get their attention a little bit, and they can click that and go and check out the product. This has been one of the tactics that I've used to be able to get email addresses. Also, this is right here something I have that I use Lead Pages for to get email addresses, and it just makes this pop up on the site. So if I just click there, that pops up. But yeah, in that video, I'm getting people are watching this video on MikeFromMaine.com, and they're also able to watch the video on YouTube. Now, of course, if they watch it on YouTube, they're not going to have those opt-in boxes come up. But I'm still going to get the traffic anyways from people that I've embedded my link. I'll show you the video. And I haven't done much. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll put some description in the box down here, and I'll try to make my videos a little better optimized. This is a bad example, but what I'll at least do, the bare minimum that I do, is I've got a link back to the post. Mm-hmm. I've got the keyword here. I've got my tags all set up so that I have things like covert context review, covert context bonus, get covert context. All those type of things are included in the tags so that people can end up seeing that. And you'll see that this has only had 39 views here since yesterday. It doesn't take a lot of views if you have the right kind of audience to be able to make commissions and be able to get people to take the actions that you want them to. If you want to take a look at the tags that I set up.
Yeah, this is great, Mike. I appreciate it. I'm sure our viewers are enjoying kind of a behind the scenes.
Yeah, and this is right here. These are all the tags that I have in here. I filled that right up. I think it can take up to, I want to say 400 characters or something like that. You can fill it up pretty big, and it will tell you when it's done. And you can just fill that up. WordPress affiliate plugin, covert context review, buy covert, discount, covert context bonus. I also do this on all my videos. I put in MikeFromMaine.com, Mike from Maine, and Mike from Maine. And the reason I do that is because what happens is when someone watches your video on YouTube, usually what will happen is you'll see at least one of them came up here, Mike from Maine. Your videos will show up alongside here. I've had videos where it's a ton of them will show up here, Mike from Maine, Mike from Maine, Mike from Maine, because it sees it as related content to that video. And it's not rare to see like this all filled up with videos from me.
You know, Mike, I do the same thing, buddy. It's interesting that we're using the same strategy, so that's kind of interesting. You know, I just discovered that, and I would say to anybody watching using video that you want to always use your domain as a tag for that reason. And if you were to search, like for one of my videos, the same exact thing happens where people are searching on the right-hand side. There's additional videos from me. And I use some branding strategies so they kind of stand out, and people end up watching a few, they subscribe, and it's pretty awesome. Well, Michael, man, it's been a pleasure, and we need to start wrapping things up here. But
sure.
Again, thank you so much for coming on the show, spending some time with us. I appreciate that. You know, you really kind of pulled the curtain back, shared some of the ups and downs that you've gone through, and really helped people to understand how they can move forward. Again, guys, you can find Mike's website at MikeFromMaine.com, and I got it right that time, MikeFromMaine.com. It's a really cool site, and you know, it makes sense to pay attention to what people are doing. And Mike, do you have any last words you'd like to share with people?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people think that people like yourself or myself who have had some success online and we're doing what they want to do, they feel like we're not going to be reachable. We're not going to be, like, if you email us, we're not going to email you back because we're too busy. But yes, we are busy. But it doesn't mean that if you have something like, let's say you're launching a product and you put a lot into it, and I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at what you're doing. I'll be happy to answer a few questions for you. Reach out. I love to hear from my audience. I don't try to put that barrier in between myself and my audience. And I would say to other people out there that have had success, not to forget about when you were down in the dumps, when you were at zero and you were trying to figure out how to get to that level. I think we need to also give back a little bit as well. So with that being said, I would love to hear from anyone. Reach out to me. I'm always emailing back. I make it a purpose not to outsource my email. I email back as much as I can. If it doesn't come back immediately, give me a few days because my inbox does get a bit full. But yeah, reach out.
That's awesome, buddy. I really appreciate you coming on again. And friends, if you are watching us right now, let me just see if I can get the screen share. I'm not sure. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I can see we have a handful of people. I'd like you to, number one, just right below the video, you'll see a thumbs up. Click that for me and let me know that you like this kind of content and you want Brian Johnson to reach out to, people that you might not have heard about, people that are using their own strategies and tactics. If you want more of this content, give me the thumbs up. And then I'd also like to ask you to leave a comment below. It could be maybe you've got a question for Mike, or you want to know what plugin that was in, or the strategy or software. And what other kind of shows would you like me to produce here on Google Hangouts. It's been a pleasure. Mike, thank you so much again for coming on. I'll do more of these. I'm looking forward to it. It's a powerful platform. And this is kind of my way of giving back, just like what Mike is talking about. There's no pitch at the end, just awesome content. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you soon. Brian G. Johnson, I'm out of here. Take care.